There's only one way to get all that out. So there's a Jesus out of it. Hello! I've left the bearded one behind the camera for now. Because we've decided that it's been a while since we did a recipe. So we're going to do another recipe. So today we're going to make meringue kisses.
Yeah, because everybody keeps bloody asking for them.
Yeah, I make them for work all the time and everyone gets excited, so we decided that we'd make some, and then if people ask me how to make them, I can direct them to our video. So the things you will need are sugar and eggs. That's your ingredients. Optional extras, food colouring. If you're going to use it, it needs to be paste or it needs to be gel, because the other stuff's just crap, so don't even bother. I'm also going to throw on some hundreds and thousands, and if I can find it, I'm going to glitter them up as well. In fact, it's in my little pot, so it's fine, I've got glitter. Anything else you could add, you could dip them in chocolate, you could dip them in coconut, you could dip them in nuts, whatever you want. But I just like to keep them as plain as possible. So, the first thing we need to do is, you need to decide how many you want. The recipe I've got makes 3 dozen, but that's a bit overkill. That's got 5 egg whites in it. But I'm just going to make a 3 egg white mix because, well, I'm going to end up with a million meringues. So the first thing I'm going to do, which is really important when you're making meringue, is that your bowl that you're using is super duper 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 clean, because if it's not, you'll never get your egg whites whipped. Actually, scrap that. I'm going to turn my oven on. This may sound weird, but if you warm your sugar first, you get a stiffer mixture, which keeps its volume better. So, yeah. But I need to measure my egg whites because the recipe is double egg whites to sugar. No, double sugar to egg whites. You know what I mean? Half as much egg white as sugar. I'm not very technical. So I'm going to clean this first because I'm going to measure my egg whites into this before I weigh out my sugar. So I'm going to use some white wine vinegar because it cuts through all the grease and it doesn't taste too strong. It's not like you're using malt vinegar and it's going to taste like fish and chips. So just with a bit of kitchen roll, use a bit of white wine vinegar and just give all your equipment a really good clean out. I recommend that you use either a stand mixer if you've got one, or definitely a hand mixer. Don't try and do this by hand, you'll be here all day and you'll never ever get the right volume in your meringue mix. So if you haven't got one, go to Tesco or Asda, you can buy a cheap hand mixer, electric mixer for about £6. I've broken a million of them, but it doesn't matter for that. So I'm just going to give my whisk a good clean as well to make sure that I've got all the grease off, and now stink of vinegar, which is always nice. So the other thing you've got to make sure when you make meringues is that you don't get any egg yolk in it at all. If you do, again, it won't rise. So make sure, if you're not very confident with separating eggs, that you do it into a bowl first. This is where I show off and say I've done it a million times, and wait and see, I'll get egg white in it. I'll get egg yolk in it and I'll have to scrap it and start again. Right. So I'm going to measure straight onto my scales, which are in the wrong units. That's it. So that way I know what I need. So this is how I separate eggs, just back and forward in the shell. It's old fashioned with it. So that's one. I know that was really wasteful. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there that could give you some awesome recipes for your egg yolks, but I'm too lazy. It's 2. So I've got 127 grams of egg. So I need 254 grams of sugar. So what we're going to do with the sugar, 254 grams is that. 98, but I'm sure the 4 grams extra won't make any difference. So I'm going to line a fairly deep pan with greaseproof paper, and I'm just going to pour my sugar in there. So what you want to do with this is you want to put it in an oven. Oh, I ain't got my oven hot enough, at 200 degrees for 5 minutes, and just as it starts to brown around the edges, that's when it comes out. This is from a website called the Meringue Girls, which unfortunately is down at the minute because I've just checked. But it'll be back up soon, hopefully. So that's all our ingredients. I can get rid of them now. What I'm going to now do is get my egg whites on beating. This is really noisy. But these are going to beat for the whole 5 minutes that the sugar's in the oven. They'll be nice and frothy by the time I come to add the sugar. You can cut it there if you want.
Well, we're going to get them, let them enjoy the joy of a couple of seconds of the noise that thing makes, and then we'll stop.
It's not even plugged in. We're going to start slowly to develop the bubbles, and then once they get little bubbles and you start whacking the speed up and you get bigger ones.
Yeah, this is the background noise of my life in this house.
This is what it really goes like. Right, so my sugar, as you can see, is just slightly caramelised around the edges, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to turn the oven down to 100 degrees, which is where it's going to sit, which is 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It was at 200 degrees before, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, just to warm the sugar up. My egg whites are nice and fluffy. I'll show you. My egg whites are kind of fluffy. So what I'm going to do now is turn my noisy mixer on, and I'm going to add the sugar a spoonful at a time, and then I'm going to whisk the arse out of it for literally about 20 minutes. You need to be able to dip your finger in and rub it between your fingers, and you shouldn't feel any grit at all. So you can watch for a little bit and then we'll jump cut because it'll be boring and noisy. Right, so I think this should be, you can see it's all stuck to the whisk. It looks like the middle of a snowball or like a Tunnocks tea cake when it's done. So I'm just going to rub it between my 2 fingers, and you shouldn't be able to feel any grains. I can feel a couple but not many. It's quite smooth. I'm just debating whether I should put it on for another 5 minutes. I might just wipe it down and put it on again for a little bit longer just to make sure that it's done properly. And I'll just lick my fingers because what's the point in making stuff at home if you can't lick your fingers there? I'm just going to brush it all down. There's only one way to get all that out. Tap the Jesus out of it. Gorgeous, this stuff. I could probably bath in it. I love it. A bit sticky like. Right. Ah! A little bit longer. Right, so that's that done. So what I'm going to do now is prepare my piping bags. I'm just going to get rid of that sugary spoon. So, I like to make really, really, really pretty. So I've got 2 big massive piping tubes. One of them is a Wilton 1B, which gives you like, I'll show you, it's hard to describe. The other one is a 1M. I'm not sure if that's a Wilton tip. I think it's just a cheap, nasty knockoff, but you can buy these from loads of different manufacturers. And this is just a star tip, so it'll give you a big kind of like flowery shape, kissy thing. A lot of people do them with plain tubes, but I don't have any big enough, and I also like to be a bit of a fanny. So I'm also going to paint the inside of my piping bags with colour, so that you get stripy, like pinstripe, pretty meringues. If I can get my piping bags out the bag, which seem to be stuck to the plastic. So, those of you that have never used a piping bag or a piping tube like this, people do use couplets, but you don't have to. You can literally lop the bottom off with a pair of scissors and stick your piping tube in. Now I've got a fancy scissors, which is always a challenge in this house. So I'm going to just cut a bit off the bottom. If my scissors have got any cut in them. Yeah, make sure your scissors are sharp. So otherwise you just rip the plastic. That's it. Open up your piping bag and then stick your piping tube in the bottom. The right way around helps that way. But that's not going to work because it's going to come straight out when I put a bit of force on it. So we'll try this one because it's bigger. That's better. So you need to make sure that you can pull your tube and it's not going to fall out your piping bag. Do this one, so I need to cut this one lower. So, a lot of people ask how you make things look pretty. Well, you get a paintbrush.
Hang on.
Paintbrush. I'm going to use pastel colours because they're my favourite. So I'm going to use yellow and jade in one, and I'm going to do pink and lavender somewhere. I've got in here. There it is. And lavender in the other. So these are sugar flare colours. They're gel colours, so they're really dark pigment, which is what you want. Because I'm literally, all I'm going to do is paint a line of the colour down the inside of the bag. So this one's jade, which is a gorgeous colour. In fact, I'll do the yellow one first, that makes more sense. So you literally just, no, I've already touched the green now, so I've got green in the colour. See, even the pretend pros make mistakes. So I'm just going to paint a line of colour down the inside of the bag, and you'll be surprised how far this goes. See if I can fish all that green out there, just put it in the bottom of it. So just about probably 2/3 of the way up. And I'm going to do one on the opposite side. Throw that on the table. It's just a line, it's a bit thicker on this side, but it doesn't really matter. That's that. Right, so without letting it touch, I'm going to just pop my bag open and I'm going to stick a line of jade down either side on the other side. So I'm just going to clean this brush off slightly. It's messy work. So this one's jade. Pop it open and I'm going to stick a line straight down. I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Try not to get it all over the place. I live with permanent dyed hands, so it doesn't bother me, but most people will probably get quite upset if they got this all over. Right, so that's my colour. Just put that on so we don't get it everywhere. I'm going to stick that one there a second, and then we need to move this way. So, the easiest way I've found of filling your piping bag is if you use a pint glass or a big glass, and then you roll your piping bag down over the top. Try not to let your colours touch. It's easier said than done. Then I'm just going to fill my piping bag with as much meringue as I can get in, and then I'll show you how to pipe. prepared to get messy because it's a mucky job. But it's totally worth it. Right. Yeah, do that. Right, so before your colour comes through on your meringue, you'll have a little bit. It's a bit of a waste, but the best thing to use it for is sticking your greaseproof paper to your tray. So I'm just going to push that down. This is probably going to go all over the place at the end, as it does. Put that in there. So I'm just going to squeeze a little tiny bit onto my baking tray. That's it, our colour's starting to come through now. I'm going to line my baking tray. Right, so I'm going to stick my greaseproof paper on my tray. I am going to very, very, very lightly oil this tray, only because I know this greaseproof paper sticks for some strange reason. But like literally a tiny, tiny bit, because it's going to dry out anyway. And now comes the fun part, because we get to pipe. So this is my star tube. This was the second one I showed you. And I'm literally going to push down and then lift up. And that's your end result. So you can see your colours coming through. They obviously don't spread, so you don't really need to leave yourself much room on your baking tray. You can fit as many as you can on. Just push down and then lift up. And they look amazing, and they take no time at all to do. And I'll tell you, they go down an absolute treat when you give them to your friends as presents. Honey, I'm going to add an extra bit of glitz to mine and put a couple of hundreds of thousands on the top. Because your oven's only at 100 degrees, no matter what you put on, it's not going to burn, thankfully. This just adds a bit of theatre. Makes them a bit circusy. So these go in an oven at 100 degrees for probably about half an hour. What you want to do is, it just dries them out. So what you want to do is lift one, and if it lifts off the greaseproof paper really easily and there's no mark underneath, then they're ready. I'll show you once these ones are done. So they're going to go in there, and I'm going to forget about them. So while they're in there, I'll show you how to do that again with a different colour. Just clean my brush. So I'm going to go lavender and pink this time. Exactly the same as we're going to do. Just a big line down one side. Not very chatty, am I?
No, I'm just thinking, if you don't have piping bags, which are easy enough to pick up on eBay.
Pound shop.
Or pound shop.
Poundland, if you're in the UK, you can buy 20 piping bags for £1 now, so there's not really an excuse. You can make them out of paper.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, other than that, freezer bag, cut the corner off it.
Yeah. You just won't get as clean a line with them, that's all. But I'm sure you can spare £1 for a piping bag.
And if you don't want the crinkly edges, you don't even really need a tip in the end. You can probably do it with just a very thin hole.
That's a boy's version of making meringue.
Easy. Lazy man cooking. That's all it is.
It's not lazy man cooking. If you're going to do it, make them look pretty, girls. Make them look pretty. This one's lavender. As you can tell, the gel colours are really thick, but they give you a really nice, rich colour. You can buy these all on eBay. Sugar Flare is my recommended go-to colours, but you can get Wilton colours. You can get, Asda used to do their own paste colours, but they seem to have stopped selling them now, which is a bit annoying because their black was fantastic. So So for those of you that don't know, my other passion in life is decorating cakes, which is why I have all this random stuff around the house. So if you want to check out my cake page, if you go to Fellows Fancies,
Facebook.com/FellowsFancies.
then you can check out my cake page. You obviously can't have one unless you live in Hull, but it's nice for you to go and have a look. Right, self-promotion over. I am now going to put the meringue in my piping bag. I'm going to do the lazy way this time, which is going to make an absolute mess. Wouldn't be my cooking if it didn't.
I'm going to do it the lazy way.
I'm going to do it the lazy way, but then I realise it is going to make an absolute mess, and I'm going to do it the other way now. It's all about experimenting. This one's a slightly different piping tip, as you can see, and it'll make a different shape. Right. I'm going to do the same thing and use that bit of meringue. And not drop. Basically, make it all over the floor this time. Again, I'm going to put the tiniest bit of baking spray on my green cake because I know it sticks. And it's pack time. So push down, pull up. I'm going to make these ones slightly bigger. This piping tip has a bad habit of getting gapped up there. You might find if you do try and use one of these flower tips that you might have to pipe and then pipe on top because you get like hollows in the middle and then it breaks up when you try and take it off the sheet. So I just kind of like push down a bit harder to try and fill some of the void. That one's interesting. I'm just going to refill that bag with what I've got left and then I'm going to whack them in the bag. In fact, I might make them a little bit sparkly and add some glitter. You can also, which I've done before, add flavour essence to these. So I've made like coconut flavoured ones with coconut essence, and I think I've made some raspberry ones before as well. But don't add your essence until afterwards because I think it probably have an effect on your egg white. But they work really well with flavours in. I'm going to add a bit of glitter. This is just rainbow dust, it's holographic glitter, it's edible. Well, technically. You can't digest it, but it's not going to poison you, it's non-toxic. But it's pretty. Right, so those are now in the oven. They're going to be in there for a good 25-30 minutes. I'll come back and I'll show you what they need to look like when you lift them up off the tray. These are now ready, as you can see. They lift off this baking tray really cleanly, so you can't see anything underneath. You might get the odd one that's a bit dodgy, like this one. It's got a big hole in the bottom. But most of them I've just lifted off lovely. So don't apply any pressure because you'll break them, just literally lift them up. So I'm going to take them ones out. I've got a bit of a leak on one of them, I don't know what's gone on there. Brown. I don't know what's going on with that one. We'll have a look and see what the ones underneath are doing. But these ones are bigger, so they probably need to go on a bit longer. Can't get them out either. Yeah, these are done as well. Really delicately, just lift up. So yeah, that is your Meringue Kisses all done. So what you can do with these is you can stick a bit of cream between them and eat them that way, or you can just eat them on their own. But I quite like them just like that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed making Meringue Kisses and impressing all of your friends. And I might make Paddy eat one in a minute, but they're a bit hot because they've just come straight out of the oven. So I've dragged the beaded one in and the dog's coming too because she's seen food for a taste test. So yep. These are the finished meringues. Still slightly sticky underneath. These are still warm from the oven. but you can obviously let them go cold, and they're even nice the next day.
Right, good.
Very
Very good. Very sugary.
good, very sugary.
Yeah.
So it should be pure sugar.
Yeah. I won't complain. I'm just saying it's very different.
I don't think they're overly sweet.
So, if you do make these, send pictures of them to @Fancies, which is our Twitter account, and then we can see if anybody else managed to make use of this video. Alright, we're out.
Bye. Ta-da! Magic. Let's put that down. Most of the time I end up eating more than goes on the actual baking trays of this stuff because I love it. Think marshmallow fluff, but like a million times nicer, and you know what's gone into it.
Resisting the urge to say sparkly poop.
Yeah. If you want rainbow poop, eat cake with loads of glitter in.
I'll edit that bit out.
I once turned Paddy's whole office poop blue though by feeding them Sonic cake. It was full of food colouring.
Yeah, this can go in as a blooper. That was fun. You made me a Sonic cake one year that I took to work. So Sonic being, as in Sonic the Hedgehog, blue and yellow. And Jo used some gel food colouring to dye the cake blue and yellow, which was fine, apart from she used a little too much of it. And the next day, a couple of people were off ill from work because they were pooping green and worried about their internal organs.
I didn't poison them. I just put
It wasn't
loads of
poison.
food colouring in.
It wasn't poisonous, but yeah, that much food colouring that it was still dyeing things when it went through their digestive system.
Right.
I think your dog wants one.
Do you want one? Should we see? Little one for that. Still bit. Let's see what she does, because if it touches her tongue on it, it'll stick. Do you want it? Do you want it? No.
No, dog's not interested.
Clearly not.